Okay, so this is just to give you an inside review of our ticket system. This is how we track all work requests that come in for Alhatti and even Boss the Movement, Al Delano, everybody. And you hear me say, do a ticket, or even when you always hear me talk about what's on my list. So I'm going to log in right now. This is our work requests track log system. So if I were to pull, this is just to give you a snapshot. If I were to pull, let's just say all the Alhatti stuff that comes in, because everything, I drive everybody crazy because I tell them, don't email me, just do a ticket. So let's say if I were to pull Alhatti support, let's just do Alhatti. And I just pull all the stuff that came in for Alhatti, because anything that I assign to Matthew now, Mary would have to do it basically. And let me put it in order by date, because that way we can easily track. So it goes to the most, these are all our closed ticket. As you can see, it's 39 pages of support tickets, because this goes back to 487 days ago, which is when we started this particular tracking for Alhatti. Go to that last page, my internet here. There we go. Getting a little weird. So the most recent one would have been 2 days ago. Payment tracker update. So every single request, and depending on who is assigned to it and who was assigned, it's all defined here in what we call a work request. So in this case, I got a request from Matthew ASAP asking to add Brian to the payment tracker. Okay, no problem. Draft contract. So every single request, I'm confused, they didn't get it already. Okay, asking me to sign the agreement, review, excuse me, and send the contract. So these are just some samples of the types of requests. Draft for symposium, more than likely it's for me to review. She hasn't decided what meals she wants. Okay. So basically, again, every request, and these are all closed because I keep track of it. I'm trying to stay on top of request daily. So let's go to page 38. I'm just going backwards from our most recent and what was closed, if you will. Payment tracker. So a lot of this is the payment tracker. Add Deirdre to the payment tracker. That's the sheet I emailed you to show who we are have as prospects. So again, if I were to just scroll through this, it's basically requests. Let's see, what is this one? Google Drive folders. Again, every single request has to have a support ticket attached, and we currently have over 300, but again, most of them were closed because I stay on top of it. And this is for me and Matthew. Let's see here. If I were to go to this page, okay, this is communication back and forth. Please make sure Google Drive is complete. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. And you could just quickly at a glance tell by the subject matter what the request is. But when you click on it, it goes more in detail. Estimates audit, create estimates, payment tracking, pipeline deal summary, section, fresh book checks and balance. So let's see what these are. Matthew, can you please make sure that the requested booking dates are in summary because of the changes made? And he said this ticket has been completed. Okay, so this now would be Mary for any request dealing with any of this. Let's see, LA Cops, draft. Oh, that's just draft agreement. FreshBooks. Let's see that one. That's our accounting system. Please verify the status in 2017. Notes section is updated and accurate in all terms. This was back on January 23rd. Please confirm you're working on it. Okay, this is his. I spent quite a bit of time. Anyway, this is all his response. So again, every single work request, because this is how I track what's being done, and I can go back in history as far back as however many days, because everything is tracked. I can go back all the way back to, if I go to page 1, 487 days. So this is just a snapshot of how we work and process. That's just for Alhatti. Now, if I was to go to our Boss the Movement, just giving you a sneak preview. Boss the Movement is nowhere near the amount of work that we have for Alhatti, because this is all dealing with different groups, Grace Fellowship, Christy Spriggs, Living Truth, different things going on with different agreements that require. So if I were to log on to Boss the Movement and I logged in, you can tell by the logo it's different. So if I were to search our request, let's just say tickets entered. Let's just say this year. Not nearly the request at all. It's 2 pages. Go to number 2. This is the kind of stuff between Myra, myself, and our customers directly have access. So this is from Pastor Sanderback, Maya Baruka. These are Myra's. Let's see, page 1. So customers also. Here's a customer, Carol Williams, Stephanie Price, Google Drink Live. This is our Google Drive. These are the kinds of requests they have. If I were to go to last year, it'll give you a gauge like I did for Alhatti. Should say last year, January to this year. It'll give you a gauge of about how many requests. So it's just 8 pages. So I did that to just give you comparably the amount of work requests that come in for Boss versus Alhatti. And this goes back through January of last year, just 8 pages, which is only about 80, 90 different requests for Boss from the team or customers, which is literally a fourth less, 25%, 75% less than Alhatti work requests. And we got a whole big old ministry team, and it's just Matthew and I for Alhatti. So I just wanted to give you that kind of comparison in our work request systems, just so you can see the value as well. And that's just work requests. Of course, our calls and all that are tracked in our pipeline deals. And those aren't tracked through the work requests. Work requests are things like review estimate, review contract, all of those kinds of things. Callbacks for customers, all of that is done in our pipeline deals. I'll give you a sneak preview of that. So I can pull, for example, to see how many calls are being made, who's talking to who, what needs to be done, what follow-up actions. So if I were to search on, let's just say all of Mary, I just go down here to Mary, and it's going to give me the amount of people right now that she's working on, which is 527 out of our total database of 7,837. So this is just a snapshot of all of who Mary's working on. If I were to do the same and choose Matthew, because keep in mind, if Matthew, he has 350, and so it could go on. Now mine, of course, would be more because I have ministry and Alhatti, so obviously mine is going to be way more, 5,257. That falls under my ownership because I have ministry and Alhatti. So anyway, I just want you to see a snapshot view of, let me go back, for example, to Matthew. Because once someone owns an account, that means they're responsible for follow-up, all that. I look at dates. When was the last activity, which is this column? What happened with that? You can see right here what happened. Pat called. Oops. I explained we do not refund the difference. So you can see everything that happened. Latest activity in this column right here that I'm highlighting over here. How recent was the communication? You can see all these are recent. And that's where we are. So it's just a snapshot of our systems to frame the as supporting documentation for my last email of why I was going nuts. Oh wait, one more thing to check. I'm sorry. One more thing so you can have a picture image around the kinds of systems we're managing. Here's our main one. This is our accounting system. Our main one. Let's just pull the estimates, date range. I'm just going to say everything 2017 right now that we're currently, it's 5 pages. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 times 5 is 75. So this gives you a framework of estimates for 2017 that we're currently working on. I can sort by status. So it shows me all the ones that have been accepted by the clients. These are actually really good. That have been accepted by the clients. Let's just do all 5 pages. So at a glance, I sorted by the status. So this is everybody that is accepted. I can see when the client viewed it. That's all these viewed. If I were to click on, let's say, for example, Mount Sinai, it tells me everything they did with this estimate. So if I opened up their estimate right now, it's going to tell me when they looked at it, when they printed it. So I have a gauge when we call them to follow up. to see exactly where they are and what they're doing. So, if they say, oh, I haven't received it, I would know that's not true. See right here, it says viewed by Rod Robinson. That was January 7th. And so we get an idea, and then of course we would follow up call with them, and I can go back to my customer database to see what he said each time we called. If we called, was the line busy? Did we get through? Did we leave a message? I'll be able to track that as well. So this gives you an idea how many were viewed and how many were sent and not viewed, which then we call and follow up with the customer as well to see, do we have the right email, all of that. And this is our other system, which tracks invoices. Same with invoices. Let me go here. Matthew's responsible. You see we got 16 pages of invoices because remember, we have 4 installment payments for every contract. So Matthew's responsible for creating the drafts for all these. I review them and send them to the client. There's 18 pages of these. And if I were to search 2017, do the same for here. Let's just do a date range of 2017. And I'll go through, let's say December, because this is just everything for this year, for any invoices that are due. And you see right here, oh, I'm sorry, just 2 pages, because we only do it now per quarter, so we can do our accounting statement. We used to do it all out for the entire length of the contract, but now we only do it as needed. So it's only 2 pages of those. So as we get contracts, we do all 4 invoices every time someone signs a contract, and we wait until they sign the contract. So that's how this process works, and that's each quarter. Once they sign, then we do it for the entire length of their contract, and we only have 10 signed right now, so that's about right. All right, hopefully that gives you a snapshot of our critical systems that need to be managed in excellence. Can you imagine?
6 o'clock.
That's my computer. Can you imagine errors on any of this? And yeah, it has to be Lean Six Sigma accuracy for everything, and no rework, because we're dealing with all the numbers, contracts. Oh, speaking of which, let me show you one more. Go into our digital contracts again to give you a picture image of what I sent, the actual even the breakdown of our systems on what we're using, the kind of technology tools we're using. This is going to give you a sneak peek of our digital contracts. So all of our contracts are managed electronically, which is so simple for the customer. They digitally sign it. We can pull all the contracts right here. It's kept. All of these contracts are what we have worked on, and authorization for signature if they did credit cards. So the document title, if I were to sort on that, it's just going to group all the Alhatti group rental agreements. So from 2015 all the way to 2017, everything we've worked on. So I can just click on any one of them and it will just bring it up. Here's the 2017, that's credit card authorization. So we track all of this, and again, I can't afford any errors. We also have Boss Global Alliance forms tracked here as well, because it's all digital. So people sign it, I can just go right to it and see the date and go right from there. So let me sort by date so I can get the most current. And I'm trying not to make this video so long, but I'll sort by date so that we can at least see where we are with the agreements on file and the contracts and everything for basically 2017 as well. So if I were to go out and just click on the ones that were signed, then I could just literally click on any of the 2017 ones that are signed that are actually waiting on me to sign. So I have if they signed it, I don't actually sign them until we have our group planning meeting. So you'll find that some of them have signed the contract and it's waiting on my signature, which I don't sign. Like for example, Rolling Hills. Until we have our meeting, just double click on their agreement. You'll see they signed it, but I don't sign. Oh wait, let me go back here. That's not the one. But let's see, LA Cops. That's Mark Bearcat. That's the one that signed it. So that other one went out for signature. Rolling Hills is not signed yet, but LA Cops we have, I know we have a signature on them. Oopsie. Oopsie. I think my computer's opening up too much stuff. So let's try it again. So LA Cops, I know, signed theirs. Yeah, there we go. And it's waiting on me to sign. So if I were to scroll down, you see their signature. Scroll all the way down to the actual signature page, because they do it all digitally. And this is for every customer. He digitally signed it. He wrote his initials and payment installment, all of the information. And that's it. That's our digital signature. And of course, we have other tools and systems, but these are our main ones for conversion that requires Lean Six Sigma accuracy, like no errors, because you can't have errors in contracts, invoices, estimates. Thank you. Bye.